Mr. Carney has explained many times that though that decision was
He's wheeling and dealing. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today we got Mark Carney making new minister appointments. He's bringing in Justin Trudeau's old crusty ministers. We've also got them bringing in a new police force specifically for Canadian protesters. We got the CBC getting ripped, Mark Miller questioned on the street, Stephen Guilbeault questioned in Parliament, and Mark Carney gets completely hounded by reporters in a scrum. Let's jump into this. First up, we got some stock market news here. This is not looking good. As you see here, 1.7 trillion wiped out from the US stock market today. With that, we've got this one. It says from Britannia, Trump's first 50-day stocks heading towards the worst start to a presidential term since 2009. Donald Trump takes a lot of pride in the stock market, being the guy who brings up the stock market, not down. So these tariffs, I've already heard rumblings that he is at the edge here where he wants to pull back and take off the tariffs because he doesn't like this look. He wants to be the guy that is increasing the stock market. So we'll see, because Doug Ford is applying a lot of pressure right now and is doing the art of the deal very strongly back against Trump, imposing those new surcharge on electricity for Michigan, New York, and Maine yesterday. Got this one from Shreya Teese. He's hinting at Frank Graves here. This is the guy who hates Pierre Poilievre putting out those dirty polls from Ecos. He says Frank hints that his poll has Liberals leading by 25% now. I can report our latest 4-day roll because even I don't believe it. And then I looked at the parallel online poll from our probability panel and see basically the same results. Can you imagine a 25-point lead almost completely reversing in 2 months? Neither could I. Checking. Yeah, Frank, nobody believes you. Your data is garbage. So we got Melissa Lantsman sharing the new news here. Mark Carney's made a couple appointments in his cabinet and it's dejected, failed Trudeau ministers. You're not going to believe this.
CBC News has confirmed that his new chief of staff will be former cabinet minister Marco Mendicino.
Marco Mendicino, are you kidding me?
And senior government sources also tell us that David Lametti, another former cabinet minister.
David Lametti, that guy's an absolute disaster. Mark Carney he's worse than Trudeau. He wants to surround himself with Trudeau's dejected filth.
Will also be helping with this transition, and it's going to be one that is very fast.
Wow. Mark Carney knows how to pick them, huh? Carney brought back Mendicino and Lametti because they know firsthand how to immediately invoke the Emergency Act. They've done it before, they'll do it again. I don't deny that. Looks like the deck chairs on the Titanic are being reorganized. Question is it to have the best seat to watch the impending implosion of the Liberal Party from a general election? Or is it because sneaky Carnage Carney is about to try and pull another fast one on Canadians? Somebody sharing here, David Lametti gave $17.50 to Mark Carney, maxed out donation. This is unbelievable. Exact same corrupt government as Trudeau. What a joke. He's not even trying to hide it. With that, we've got Canada Proud posting this one. So when Pierre Poilievre ran for leadership of the Conservatives, he got 295,000 votes to Mark Carney's 132,000. Pierre got almost double the entire Liberal leadership race for just himself. When it comes down to it, this is basically what we're getting. It's the same thing, Justin Trudeau 2.0. And who do we have here today? Justin Trudeau. I thought this was AI. I kept on looking around until I eventually verified this is a real image. The real Justin Trudeau. He's an absolute nutcase. We knew this. This reminds me of something. What does it remind me of? Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Look familiar? This is a photo from Reuters. This is a real photo, so he's taking the chair home, because of course they've already taken everything else from Canadians, might as well take the furniture too. But in reality, they're allowed to take this as long as they pay for it, and I'm sure Justin Trudeau would love to sit at home and bask in his rotten egg, fart-ridden chair at home. That chair must be in excellent condition as it didn't get much use. I think it's a keepsake. He wants to have the chair that he destroyed Canada in at home so he can really relish those memories from the comfort of his big mansion. People are just going crazy with this. We got this one from CBC watcher. Rosie admits there's a lot of questions that Carney needs to answer, but only now after he's being crowned leader.
Last night, there's lots of other questions for him in terms of how soon is he going to move his own personal investments and stocks into a blind trust? Will he wait?
A blind trust is ridiculous. I believe the Conservatives came out recently and said they want to get rid of that. You have to sell off all your assets. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that. I've been looking around. There's just too many clips everywhere to verify that. But a blind trust basically allows them to take all their assets. For example, say if Mark Carney invested a ton of money into Air Canada and then he puts it in a blind trust, then somebody is dealing with that for him and they could sell it. They could buy more shares or sell shares or whatever, but he has no say over it. But then Mark Carney, 6 months from now, could do some big deal with Air Canada to jack his own shares in his blind trust. Now, he wouldn't know for sure if the person controlling his blind trust already sold all the shares. But if he does a dirty deal with the person controlling his shares and just whispers in his ear, hey, did you sell my shares? Are they still there? Just leave them. I'm going to do a deal with Air Canada. That's why blind trusts are stupid. They're absolutely ridiculous. Anyone who's a Prime Minister of Canada should have to sell off all business assets, because otherwise it's just ripe for conflict of interest and enriching oneself. I mean, look what Mark Carney's already done with Telesat Lightspeed, giving a tax-free loan for many years, $2 billion to his buddy. I already did the math on it. His buddy can make $80 million a year off that loan and then just give the money back and say, we decided not to build the satellite plant, and just walk away with $240 million in his pocket. It's ridiculous.
Will he wait until he becomes Prime Minister? Has that process started? We know he's received security clearance. Is he getting security briefings already by intelligence agencies and the head of the RCMP and CSIS? What is his intent behind a cabinet? How quickly will he call an election? There's lots of questions there that people wanted to ask and that he didn't answer.
Yeah, because he doesn't answer any questions. And yet he's the Sultan that must be crowned.
He is working very closely, though, with...
He's not doing anything but just walking in after 11 years of not being in our country and becoming Prime Minister. It's ridiculous. You got this one posted by Kirk. It says, here are approximately how many Canadian citizens there are versus how many people voted for Mark Carney. So the number was like 0.36%, I believe. Hence this sliver here. Not even 0.5% of people voted for the guy who's now the Prime Minister. And we got this one from Rebel News. Mark Miller comes strutting out. He's asked a question, of course. What do you think he does?
Do you think that Mark Carney should release all his financial assets that he have to be clean in front of Canadians? Why are you not answering, Mr. Miller?
Government approved media only.
Mark Miller is such a loser. Just look at this too. Look at the sloppy exchange. He starts getting asked this question about financial disclosure. So he just goes and just grabs this random guy. I'm sure he probably knows him, but it's like sloppy handshake. Like, look at this. What is this? Just trying to distract from her asking the question. And then the guy at the door here says government media only.
Not answering, Mr. Miller.
Government approved media only.
Government approved media only, aka CBC, corrupt media only. Got this one from Rebel News that says the feds are creating new police force to prevent convoy protests at Parliament Hill. So I mentioned this one a few days ago. We got a few more details now. It says a new Parliament district policing team comprised of 49 civilian and sworn employees have been launched into Ottawa and will be fully staffed within the next 3 years. 3 years. Everything they do is just slow, inefficient, and just ridiculous. We need a new police force that polices Parliament to stop them stealing our money. They set aside $50 million over 5 years to bolster Parliament security. You know, you wouldn't need security if you guys didn't break the law and crack down on Canadians and steal our money. How many scandals are we up to? There's too many to count. Why is Stephen Guilbeault not in jail for having money shuffled over into Cycle Capital? Arrive scam, Annette Verschuren, Eco Green Slush Fund. There's just too many. Yet once again, they blame us. It's our fault. Release the documents. Remember that? SDTC documents. Well, the reason why Parliament is prorogued, they didn't want to hand over documents to the police. Sounds like authoritarianism in action. Does the position come with the horse to trample Canadians with? No kidding. Speaking of Stephen Guilbeault here, he was questioned about the carbon tax.
Do you expect Carney to get rid of it and start carbon tax before he calls an election?
Well, he said yesterday that he wanted to get rid of it. We're looking into how that could be done and
we got to get rid of it. I don't want to.
how rapidly it could be done.
Do you expect this to happen, though, before the election is called?
As I said, we're looking into it. I don't have like a time
Is this your goal?
to give you. We're looking into different options. Do we need to change legislation? Can we go the regulatory route? Like, what are the options? And I don't have an answer for you yet.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, I mean, he said that he wanted, for example, to work on the industrial carbon pricing system that gives us 3 times more emission reduction. So make sure that big polluters do their fair share when it comes to reducing emissions. And you should remember that our climate change plan doesn't rest on 1 or 2 measures. It's more than 100 measures that we've deployed.
As I showed in previous videos, they're increasing thermal coal exports to Asia, restricting LNG, which reduces CO2 produced by 81%. They have a No Pipelines Act, but now they're pro pipelines because they're getting decimated in the polls. And yet somehow there's still Canadians, more the Laurentian elite Canadians, that are supporting these guys. Where is the logic? Charging Canadians carbon tax when the whole country emits just 1.4% of the world's carbon emissions. It's a scam. It's a big scam. And speaking of scam, we got Stephen MacKinnon here. Melissa Lanceman posting this one. So he's talking to Vasi Capellos here. She presses him and he lies directly to her face about Mark Carney's sneaky lie with Brookfield Asset Management.
Why didn't he tell the truth when he was asked that question?
Mr. Carney has explained many times that though that decision was ratified
By shareholders, but he did have involvement in it.
But it happened after he had departed, and
Come on, dude. The receipts are there. Mark Carney was chairing the meeting. This happened back in October.
I think all of this has been discussed very transparently.
Why didn't he?
I don't know the words, but I want to get a cabinet position, so I'll lie for Carney. You're going to see a lot of this. All these guys are going to be sucking up to Carney because they all want that cabinet position. He didn't have one before. And we got Mark Carney himself here. He's getting completely hounded by the media.
Just had a long meeting with the Prime Minister. We discussed the most important issues for our country, obviously including Canada and U.S. relations, issues of national security, and yes, the transition between the Prime Minister and myself. That transition will be seamless and it will be quick. Finally, I, as you may have heard, just had a meeting with the caucus. There is tremendous energy in the Liberal caucus. As you saw last evening, this is a united party with full of energy to serve Canadians.
So full of energy. That's why he sounds like a monotone mime talking.
I just wondered about Donald Trump.
Okay, sorry. I'll say.
Signs an order. And what would you say?
First thing, I'm sure he's not going to sign an order directed at me, David. With respect to President Trump, I'm not yet Prime Minister. His interlocutor is Prime Minister Trudeau, and I look forward to the opportunity. We will. As I said, I just spoke with the Prime Minister at length on issues around the transition. It'll be quick. We'll be coming back to you soon. The good news is that you will be seeing probably more of me than you want, and you will have other opportunities, and we'll be making an announcement on that.
What did you tell caucus today?
What did I tell caucus today? So this is important. The first thing, I went to caucus today because you start as you mean to go on. And we are a Liberal team, and so it's incredibly important for me to hear directly from the members of caucus the concerns of Canadians on the ground, their priorities. As I said last night, they're the voices of their communities and they're the conscience of the party. There's tremendous energy in that group. We know this is a crucial time for our country. We're united to serve Canadians, and we will build this country.
Yeah, right. You can tell here with this scrum, this is his first one where he got the full force of like, everyone yelling their questions out. And he was like, whoa, he's not built for this. And he's not built for debating Pierre Poilievre. He's going to get obliterated. Canada is screwed. He's the end of Canada. Carney's globalist ties threaten Canadian sovereignty, freedom. Has he gotten his security clearance, or will his WEF club cards be sufficient? Next up, we got Jagmeet Singh here. And actually, no one cares. We got this one. All he does in that video is complain about Elon Musk. That's all he does. He has an opportunity to completely go after Mark Carney, and he doesn't. It makes no sense what this guy's doing. He's the worst leader ever.
Going with this, critical minerals are needed in certain products, namely batteries. Well, that's an approach that's going to directly target Elon Musk.
That's enough from Jagmeet. He's irrelevant. He's a loser. Got this one. Crime tourists, organized burglary gangs are wintering in Canada and ransacking homes. Thanks, Liberals. Thanks for nothing. So, of course, there's no punishment because there's no punishment in Canada for crime, unless it's Canadians protesting. Sorry, I forgot. They're bringing in new police for that. It says organized gangs, blending sophistication with brute force, are wintering in Canada from Latin America and Eastern Europe. It says latest evidence of roving criminal networks of seasonal migrants comes from York Region, a large municipality north of Toronto, where 20 people from 6 separate crime groups were arrested after a 4-month probe into home break-in American enters. This is a cyclical trend we've been seeing for multiple years now. Detective Sergeant Pat Smith, commander of the York Regional Police, said Latin American theft groups and Eastern European theft groups enter Canada shortly after daylight savings ends in the fall and return home to their countries in spring after they've committed crime. These people need to be captured and put in jails and worked every single day until they've given back 5x whatever damage they've done to our country. If it's property damage to a jewelry store and they caused $10,000 of damage, they have to work in a jail till they pay back $50,000, give them 10 years in jail, and then they get to go home. That's what I would do. Maybe I'm a little bit strict. Maybe that's because I've had criminals destroy my life and I've had to rebuild it multiple times. I got no patience for these kind of people. Next up, we got this one here from Elon Musk. It says there still is a massive cyber attack against X. We are getting attacked every day, but this one was done with a lot of resources. Either a large coordinated group and or a country is involved tracing. And he's quoting this one here, first protests against Doge, then Tesla stores were attacked, and now X is down. Suspicious the timing of this. Michelle Rempel-Gardner came out just yesterday or the day before and saying that Mark Carney wants to take down X. I can't find any proof of that, so I didn't run that story, so I don't know if that's true. She just said it in the video, but the fact that X was just attacked now, the timing is a little funny.
There was a cyber attack on X today, which shut it down and may have been foreign sourced. Yes. It's a big story. You want to give us a moment on that?
Well, we're not sure exactly what happened, but there was a massive cyber attack to try to bring down the X system with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
So this was a DDoS attack, flooding the system with hundreds and hundreds of connections all at the same time, trying to crash it. Now, if you look at the comments, a bunch of people are saying like, oh, you can just change your IP address. It's easy. Just change your IP address. They're just trying to trick you into thinking it's Ukraine. You have to remember, Elon Musk is the richest man on earth. He has all the tools he could want. He also has access to America's military intelligence through Donald Trump. So if he says it's coming from Ukraine, I'm assuming it's not someone putting their IP address through one of those cloaking apps and then sending out a DDoS attack. But I don't know. This is not my area of expertise. We also got this one from Donald Trump. It says, as I made clear during my joint address to Congress, the United States strongly supports the people of Greenland's right to determine their own future. He's making a pitch here. We will continue to keep you safe as we have since WW2. We are ready to invest billions of dollars to create new jobs and make you rich. If you so choose, we welcome you to be part of the greatest nation anywhere in the world, the United States of America. That is an interesting pitch. Make Alberta the same offer. I'm sure the people from Greenland want to give up. Denmark offers free or heavily subsidized healthcare. Higher education in Denmark is free, including university. Denmark emphasizes shorter work weeks, provides extra welfare benefits. Danes live longer. Denmark consistently ranks higher than the US in global happiness. They have better public transportation. They're also a much smaller country, significantly smaller. Over 2/3 of Danish workers are unionized. Denmark exhibits higher intergenerational income mobility. Their welfare system results in much lower poverty rate. Interesting post there. Will Greenland take the bait? Who knows? Welcome to Mara Igloo. There we have it. Did anyone expect Mark Carney to bring back David Lametti and Marco Mendicino? Both of them? Any of them? I guess Trudeau's garbage is Carney's gold? Who's going to be coming back tomorrow? Catherine McKenna?